What's going on? It's Justeeni here, and today I've got another beta replay to review. So this is just Oumaji versus Yadakk. Oumaji has 6 starting stars, Yadakk has 7. It's a normal lakes gameplay, and I gotta say, the matchup gets really interesting. I'll just kind of get right into things. So first off, you can kind of see the buff coming into effect in just a bit. So you don't quite see it this turn, but you do see it on turn 4. Now you can see here, I have 6 stars. Normally I would have 5. What does that mean? Well, normally when you have 5 stars, you either make 1 rider or you upgrade a city. But with 6 stars, it's really nice to train 2 riders. And when you are late to your second city, like I was here, well, now I can just get 2 riders anyway. Then I can expand nice and quickly, even though I missed my first city. So the extra starting star is really nice for just consistency overall. It doesn't really increase their power level by a lot, just makes them feel better to play, which is pretty nice. They didn't need too much of a power buff. Yadakk gets a much bigger buff from starting with 7 stars. I get an explorer here though, and I can kind of see it's a very interesting setup. Obviously, Yadakk is going to be... Yadakk's going to be somewhere over here. Not sure exactly where, but they're somewhere over there. I see them capture a village here, which leads me to believe they're probably in the west. I get roads pre-cap, of course, because I've got 5 cities that I can connect. I don't get to the city right away because I want the ruin. I can make a road, go here. I capture the village 1 turn later, but it's definitely worth it in my opinion. Do some more connections. Get an explorer, and because I have fishing, it's going to go across the water. Finds a lighthouse. I do see this ruin on the mountain, but I also meet Yadakk, who's right next to the village, and I ultimately decide it's not worth my time going for this ruin because if they get Glemine, they take the ruin from me. I get a pop ruin, which is extremely nice here. Now with farming, that's a giant. So just got a nice start. And this is how most Oumaji games are gonna feel. Even if you're like a little slow, like you don't find your villages right away, you just simply every time your start's gonna feel pretty nice, which is good. And so I'm just chilling on 6 cities. There's a city up north that I might be able to get easy access to. I see Yadakk's capital, level 5 already. I get a second giant. 2 giants turn 9, not bad at all. Yadakk connects. Workshops, they want this village too. They have vision, they've got a lighthouse here. So they're gonna be able to get it. Unfortunately, I can't really stop it unless I want to overcommit a ton, which I don't really feel like doing. I get a port so I can start getting some naval presence, but I also want to start getting some more giants. So I also want construction. Now we see mining from Yadakk, which is a little concerning. I decide to go for the siege. I do lose 2 riders. That's 6 stars, but I also siege their city that's making 4 star per turn and kill a warrior. And I'm going to kill this warrior too. So it's actually, I trade 6 stars for 8 stars, which is a good trade. Also the same amount of kills, 2 kills for 2 kills. So I think all around that was just worth it. And then I proceed to make some more giants. I plan to get construction for even more. They connect again, another explorer. I get construction. And I'm setting up some really nice markets. I can burn a forest here to get a nice level 5 market. I can also get a windmill, market. And then I can also just get like a, yeah, I can get a windmill here, I guess. And then, so the setup would look like this. And then here, I could do like windmill market if I border growth, which I probably wants to do anyway to take up a lot of space. And yeah, I basically just have my entire market situation set up. And one thing worth noting is burn forest is cheaper. This is a nice little indirect buff for Oumaji and Zabasi. And every little thing definitely matters, like the extra starting star and cheaper burn definitely helps Oumaji. But then I see Yadakk Smithery, which is extremely rare, and also they have their market set up. Just slapping down some level 4 markets. I decided to pressure up north because the city's completely alone. They don't have any naval control, so they can't really reach. I get my markets a turn later. They decide to chip down my giant. They can't quite kill it, so this wasn't worth it for them. I send some more giants up. Just getting that market value. Another port just to quickly pressure. 3 giants is definitely enough. Even if they pop a giant, I can still take the city. I just need to be quick about things. They're making swords, but it's not quite going to do the job on defense. I get climbing, because if they pop a giant, I want a giant here to hit, and then if they try to hit back, it has a defense bonus. I get some more giants in the water, and yep. Just, I get a wall here because, well, I already have trade, I have a lot of stars. Why not get a wall here? I want to get defenders at some point anyway, which will work really well with the wall. They're preparing the giant. They get a giant in the water. They're fighting against my naval control, which is a little inconvenient. We get sailing to help fight back. Get some ships. Kind of making a little trap here. If they go here, looks pretty nice. You splash 3 units at once, but I'm just going to slap back really hard and outright kill the Juggernaut. So not really the most worth it for them. It would distract the giant that's gonna die if they giant push, but I don't really know if it's worth it. I'm still gonna be taking the city most likely anyway. I've got a 4th giant if I need it. So they decide to instead go for this Juggernaut here. Really take things down. They pop the giant, but I was prepared for that. I get navigation from Maruad, which is okay. I don't have very many good bomber spots though, nor can I get any starfish immediately, so it's kind of useless. But they do park their Juggernaut here, and I trained a lot of riders in advance just so then if they were parking any ships here, I would be able to do something about it. And I am. Juggernaut gets chipped down like crazy. I get strategy, get the defender. And this is going to make it very hard. But they're very smart about this, because if they sieged right away, just waltzed in, like weakened my defender enough so they could siege, I'm going to poof their giant. You maybe can see why I'm not going to show. I'll leave it as an exercise to the viewer to see how they poof. So again, they're trying to fight. I get archery so I can weaken these giants because I kind of see what they're up to. They're trying to stop my poof by moving this giant up, which will zone of control and stop me from getting a rider here, which is kind of important for the poof. They also have philosophy. What the heck? They had stars to spare, and I'm pretty sure they got a meditation rune, so yeah, now they have mindbenders, which is actually quite a problem because they can consider mind-bending my defender on a wall, which is something that you rarely have to worry about, but it is something I am worrying about. Because they've got naval dominance, they've got 3 giants, and yeah, this is an actual threat. They also have a cloak, you know, they've got philosophy. I managed to take the city though, and I will say the total city count is currently 7 to 6. It was 6 to 7 before I took this. But I need to weaken this giant. I need to allow myself to kill their mindbender if possible. And then I also get chivalry, so then I can deal some extra damage. These units are very space efficient, which is why I want them here. I can afford them. They're horrible in terms of cost efficiency, but I don't need cost efficiency. I have trade. I need space efficiency. And also if I can get some chains, that's nice as well. Now they finally go for the siege, and it looks like they've locked this, but they actually haven't. They also back away the Mindbender because, well, they don't want me to just like kill it with a knight or something, and then proceed to Houdini the Giant. So they back it up instead. And so now I can weaken this, bounce a rider in, now I Houdini. And I've got a pretty big super unit advantage at this point. Plus I will now have knights that can pressure. They do have a cloak in the port. I can't actually stop it, but juggernauts do counter cloaks, and I've got 4 juggernauts, soon to be 5. I get ramming to help defend the south. They resign, and that's the game. I can't really say, oh, like Yadakk or Oumaji is definitively better. It's just one game. But I do think one interesting thing to note kind of in favor of Yadakk here, so like I kind of mentioned already how Oumaji benefits from the extra star. They are just more consistent across the board, just slightly better in every way. Yadakk gets very interesting. In this game, the opponent went for a road opening, which I actually disagree with. Like, yes, the road opening is buffed, like, significantly. I mean, turn 3, 6 star per turn isn't bad. And then turn 5, you're at 10 star per turn, even with an Explorer. Like, by no means bad. But I do think playing a more economical opening is better, because with this road opening, which I don't actually think is the play, they still managed to get turn 12 markets. Like, they managed to get Smithery in this case. Usually construction's the way to go because you already have org, so they actually went out of their way for something even more difficult, and then was still able to get markets on turn 12. And if they went with the more eco-based opening, like turn 1 workshop or turn 0 warrior into turn 2 workshop, then you could be seeing trade on like turn 11, maybe even turn 10. Like really, really early trade, and that's something that no other tribe, not even IMO, can reliably get trade that fast unless it's like continents where they can greed like crazy. But even then, if Yadakk can greed like crazy, maybe they get turn 9 trade. Like, I think Yadakk can get markets faster than any tribe, and that's something you can't ignore. Unfortunately, in this game, I think it kind of went down to some micro mistakes because they were absolutely ahead in economy. But it's not the easiest situation to play. They kind of lacked units here. The city wasn't defended. So, unfortunately, they couldn't actually convert their eco advantage here. But they did still get quite a lot of eco. And yeah, that's something Yadakk can just do now. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub. And have a good one.